Hi everyone, welcome to my Easter class. My name's Tracy.bish. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Central Victoria, Australia, and this Easter class has 2 fun folds and 1 3D item, and I'm pairing up with my wonderful friend Wendy Cranford, and she's doing the same. So this is the first card here. I just want to quickly bring in this gorgeous Flowering Fields DSP. It is in the mini catalogue. It is gorgeous. I love the colours in here. I couldn't do cards without using some DSP, and this one's perfect. It doesn't have daffodils in it, it is tulips, and we are focusing on the daffodil bundle from the mini catalogue, but it works quite well. So we're using the Daffodil Daydream bundle as well as the Easter Friends stamp set. And for this card here, I've also added the Stitch So Sweetly dies because I wanted something with a little bit of fun background there. So starting off, I have all my supplies ready to go. We have a piece of So Saffron card, 8 1/4 by 5 7/8. Now you can find all the measurements, all the directions on my tutorial, and yeah, it is there for you. So I won't go too in depth with all the measurements because they're all on that tutorial for you. So we're going to do a few little scores here, and this is really simple to make this card go together. And I can't believe how simple this card is. It really is. It's a great card using a few strips of our DSP, and the DSP really does sing on this card. So we are getting so close to Easter, so hopefully this has tons of ideas for you that you can use with what craft supplies you have. Obviously, if you have in your stash that Daffodil Afternoon celebration paper, that was a free celebration paper, you could definitely use this for this. So, and I'm sure everyone still has a little bit in their stash. I really wanted to use it with these cards and projects, but I wanted to stay with something that you could still buy if you didn't have it. So we're just folding and scoring with our bone folder, and it's as simple as that. We've got the card ready to go. So I have 2 strips of DSP. We have 1 7/8 by 5 5/8, and then 1 strip of 1 3/8 by 5 5/8. And we're just going to use some liquid adhesive to pop them down. I've gone with the flowers on the side and then just turning it over and using the opposite side for that middle piece. We are covering up that middle piece a little bit with our sentiment. So I've got the Stitch So Sweetly dies. We have the largest and the second largest scallop, and the second smallest for our sentiment piece. So I've already pre-die cut those using the mini cut and emboss machine. I highly recommend that machine if you don't already have it. We also have some strips here. Now this one's actually too small, so I will end up getting another one. But we're using Memento Tuxedo black ink, and we're going to stamp that large flower bouquet of daffodils. We're going to stamp that with Memento, and we're going to come in and colour with Daffodil Delight as well as Granny Apple Green stamping blend. So I've got this new piece of thick basic white. Because we are fussy cutting this out, I highly recommend using the thick basic white card. It just has that little bit of extra give to it when you fussy cut. And also on that second smallest rectangle scallop there, it's made in So Saffron, and I've stamped the sentiment. So working on our back pieces now, I have 3 strips, same sizes as the front. We're working on the 2 on the ends. We're stamping that daffodil bunch again, and then the one on the middle, there is a butterfly in that stamp set, and I thought that would look really nice at the top of that sentiment, so I'll come in and stamp that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly colour in using those stamping blends, Daffodil Delight and Granny Apple Green. I'm doing fairly basic blending of colours, so I'm coming in with the dark Daffodil Delight, adding in all my shadows and my dimension, and then coming in with the light and going over that. You can come back in with the dark if it blends too much, if you still want to have a little bit more pop up with that darker colour. Come back in with the dark and just add a few little specks here and there, and that will make it really pop. I love these two colours together. I think Granny Apple Green is my favourite green, and it really pops up the colours. There are a few in our stamping blends that you could use. We have Old Olive. You've got a few that are like shaded spruce, but I really love the Granny Apple Green. I wanted to keep it really nice and bright for our card. So I've come back in with the dark Granny Apple Green, and we're just adding those highlights again, coming back in with the light and colouring in. These are really great starting markers if you're not great with colouring. I think people who have been Copic markering for years probably have it all down pat. There is so much to it. I really love the stamping blends because a beginner can get in and use it and they work, and it just makes it easy. So I'm not a professional colour in any way, and I love how easy it is for everyone to be able to create wonderful projects and colouring in. So we're just going to fussy cut with our paper snips really quickly. I'm leaving a little white line around each one, and this can be a little bit intricate, so just take your time to get around all those little pieces quite easily. So we're going to add our two layers together. So we've got the basic white and the So Saffron die cuts that we've die cut out, and then we can pop our bunch of daffodils straight down. So I'm using liquid glue for that, just centering them beautifully on the top, and then you can either pop your bunch up or just use liquid adhesive to pop it down. We are going to pop up the sentiment, so if you are popping up that daffodil, you could double pop up, use double pop-ups of your dimensions. Completely up to you. I think there's enough with just that sentiment being popped up, and we're just going to center that down the bottom. Alrighty. So then we're just going to pop the back basic white pieces down. This gives you plenty of room for writing, whether you want to just stick with the centerpiece or along each white strip, you can. So we're going to add some dimensionals to the middle strip, just making sure that we're not going over too far. Take the backings off and we can stick that down. And see how simple this card goes together? It's really leaving it up to that DSP to really sing in that in the card. So we've also got the Simply Elegant twine. I'm just using the gold to create a nice little bow, and I'm just going to add that down with a glue dot, and if you roll the glue dot, it'll stick really well. So there's our first card. I really hope that you've enjoyed that one. So simple, really beautiful. Change the colors up. If you change the DSP, change the colors up, and yeah, you can't go wrong. So I hope you've enjoyed it.